Welcome back, my Sneepsters. It's the Lisan Al Sneeb here, and I am worming my way through another Settlers of Catan review. And this is with the second best player from last season before Ush Puppy dethroned him, or 2 seasons ago. Um, so this is going to be a good game. This is a really wholesome game, guys, and let's get right into it. We're sitting at about a 46% win rate this season, so we're kind of cracked. We're coming for the top 100. We've only got 26 games, but we're in there, guys. 46%. Up first here, I think, like, when you look at this board, you see that relative to the ore, the wheat's kind of low. And so I think that's kind of why first takes what they do. And I say hi to this guy straight away because I recognize him. We've chatted a little bit before in Ush Puppy's channel. I asked him what happened to your win rate because, dude, this guy is usually at like 2 seasons ago, this guy was at like a 42 or 43% win rate, and he's just been getting targeted since Ush Puppy put him in his videos. So that's what happens, guys. Anyway, I say, are you getting targeted? He says, yeah, right? We're talking about Ush Puppy's videos. Anyway, first takes this, which I think makes sense given the fact that the wheat is kind of low. But when you look at this board, like, what are the spots that are going to be getting blocked? Like, it's probably this 8 wheat a good amount and, like, this 8 ore a good amount. So, this 8-5-10 is actually, like, not that good. But the thing about this 8-5-10 is that you always have this 9-10 out here. And then in second, it goes like the next best OWS spot, which I think makes sense. Me and Rabbiah JS are still just talking in the chat. Everyone says GLHF. It's a wholesome game. It's a wholesome game, guys. They're talking about like the blocks, and I'm saying like the 8 wheat is actually the block. And then I troll blue and say that I'm taking 9-10. But, so what would you guys take here? You know, like, it's kind of awkward, right? Like, you can get, 6-3-4, 11-4-5, so that you have, like, all 5 and kind of, like, this weird road connect. But what you notice is, so I see these first 3 picks, and I think, well, like, everyone's going to be fighting for Army. Like, do I really want to fight for Army? Like, don't I want the best road game? And so the first thing I thought was, like, I could take literally like 6-3-11, 5-4-11, and I have all of the brick and a connect. But I was like, it seems kind of slow. You know what I mean? Like you build to this 4, you're really reliant on this 4, and your whole game is just 4s and 11s if you do that. So even though it's the best road game, I didn't really love it. And I was like, I think I just want to take a setup that's a little bit more flexible. So I kind of thought about for a little while, like taking like this like 8-4-3 down with like this 4-11-3, or maybe like even like this 6-9-4 with this 6-3-11 left, and just have like Buko 6s that I can like maybe port off this 3-1, and I double. I really liked like this 6-3-11 into the 3-1, getting more wheat and doubling the 11, because this 11 is like a key role on this board where there's so much wood, and the brick is really valuable. Let me know if you guys can predict this here. We're joking about how the resource distribution is bad, but I end up taking this with the 6-3-11. And my idea here is like, okay, I'm going to get to this 3-1. I'm going to get to this 6-3. And then I have double wheat and ore and a doubled up 11. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I can like force city longest road here with my double wheat and double ore. If green takes this 9-10, which is like a distinct possibility, because I think red is probably taking this 9-4-6 after blue goes for 8-4-3, because like obviously blue's taking 8-4-3. If green goes here, like maybe I can get back into the center here, but I felt like if I pointed towards the center with this 6-3-11, then like green always just takes the center spot, so I didn't really love that. We're a bunch of chatty Cathys in the chat. Green saying that they are gonna take 9-10. Blue saying, yeah, I figured. I was like, we're a bunch of chatty Cathies this morning, aren't we? We're just chatting away. Just having some, just a couple boys and girls playing some Settlers of Catan in the morning. Chilling. You know, Blue says take 4, 5, 11 to 9, 10, 11 for green here. And I say he has no ulterior motives for saying that. And I think Blue's actually right about this. I think the 5, 4, 11 up is probably best for green and like try to fight for road. But I can kind of see why green's just wants this 9, 10. Like it's a little easier to play pure OWS. But the thing about OWS on this board is that like you're really competing with like red and blue for army, and you don't really want to be doing that. I think green's best play here was probably 5, 4, 11 up, in my opinion. But green says, you know, that was my plan from the start. An 11 rolls, and immediately we got 2 roads. An 8 rolls, we got a little ore. People are kind of trying to trade. The first 7 gets rolled by blue, and they block the 10, which we like because it's not on us. Blue is trying to trade, like, you know, their wheat away. Well, I asked for 2 cards, but you know, red underbids me and just gets the 1-for-1 over. We roll a 3, giving me wheat and wood, and, you know, my hand's already looking really good, right? So I just dropped the road. I'm just thinking here, you know, like, there's going to be a lot of sheep on the 5s. Like, maybe I can get one for this ore or for a wood. Or if I roll a 7, another 4 rolls, a 9 rolls. And, you know, already people are 4-for-1ing for the brick here. Another 9. And blue just drops their city. And they're looking pretty here. I mean, like, this is a really strong setup for blue, despite the fact that they got plowed. They have, like, just an absolute ton of production. So I'm kind of shaking in my boots here. You know, like, I know, like, this guy was top 2 seasons ago. Like, he got dethroned by Ush Puppy the season that Ush Puppy won. So this is, like, a no-joke player. You know what I mean? And on our turn, we roll a 10. We can't really do anything. I'm looking for the sheep trades. You know, I'm offering this ore for this sheep, and we managed to get it across, and I get my settlement, and I'm happy with that. And, you know, at this point, like, my setup's already coming together. Like, I've got double wood. My 11 is doubled. No one else is on this 11, right? Like, I have the best road game, you know, by a large margin. I do want to go into the center here. But the thing about going to the center is that, like, if blue or red pulls a road builder, which they might be able to because, you know, they have a lot of OWS, like, I can easily get plowed here, and the 11 only gives me 2 brick, not 3 for the 2 roads that I need to settle. So at this point, I'm thinking the next spot I'm going to is actually the 6-3, and I'm just going to get my double wheat and ore and drop some cities and then take road later is my plan. Green drops their city. We roll a 4. We roll an 8. Blue is trying to trade, and I offer like wood for wheat, and then blue is trying to get 2 wood for me, and I say absolutely not. I ask for 2 cards. They want to give 2 cards for the sheep. They offer this 2 for 2. And I initially say no. And then I think, why not? Like, I have so much wood. You know, like, I've got 10 pips of wood. I don't really need a ton of wood. Like, isn't the wheat kind of good? So I trade for the wheat. And I give blue a dev with a 4-1. We roll another 4. There's not much I can do, but, you know, at least I have the 4-1, or the 3-1 now for all my production. I give one of the wheats away and for a wood just to port down and manage my hand so that I'm not on, you know, 7 cards here. I'm just, like, looking for another 8 or, you know, like, there's a good amount of ore on this board and I might be able to trade for some of it. So just porting down for the ore here is pretty good. 7 rolls on green's turn, and they ask for an ore, and I say, please no. I just ported for it. But we don't get robbed. Blue gets robbed because they're at 3 with a city and they have a down dev, so they're clearly ahead here. Green buys a dev. I say it's got, you know, red rolls a 7, and I say it's got to be the 9 ore, and they agree. An 11 rolls, so that's big for us. And I managed to trade away my rare brick to red, who's in last, for a city. And it's just as easy as that, guys, you know, like, and that's the thing about having these rare resources. Like, there's so little brick on the board, and I'm the only one who has it. Like, when I roll this brick, like, I should be able to trade it for, like, whatever I want. And that's why when you guys are analyzing the board, when you're thinking about what you should take first, that's why I loved this 6-3-11, is because it's going to give me the best brick with a 3-1, right? On this board that has almost no brick, even though it is just an 11. But we get our city, and we're cooking, guys. An 8 rolls, giving us ore. A 12 rolls. Red's trying some crazy trades here. I make a joke, you know, like, Blue says Black's going to win on that free road. I say, Rob, I thought we were friends. Now you're table talking my position. I would never do that to you. So we're having fun. A 7 rolls on Blue's turn, and, you know, they say non-block for non-block, and they hit us because, you know, I think we're ahead of Green here. They roll a 5. I say, dude, my ore! We roll a 6 here, and now we've got another road. This is good. We can just drop to the 6-3 on our turn. We're talking about who's going to get the 5-4-11 in the middle here. I say need something when red rolls the 7, but we don't get robbed. Blue does. And the 9 gets blocked, and that's big. They say it's me and you, Blue, versus red and black. And I say, wait, can I be on the other team? But we just drop our road. We're going to the 6-3. You know, we're chilling. We roll another 4. And you guys are starting to see the power of this setup. Like, I just have a lot of production here. These 4s, you know, once I get on the 6, these 6s. And then I have these baby, like, 3s and 11s that are going to bring my setup together. And I have, like, a consistent, you know, source of ore, so I can always drop cities. Blue is trying to trade for the ore. And at first, I'm kind of like, I don't really want any of these, like, 2-1 trades. But then I think, you know, like, well, if I get the wood and the sheep, or the wheat and the sheep, like, I can just 3-1 for my settle. And I was like, well, that's pretty good, right? So I give Blue a dev. And I get the trade-off. And, you know, here I could dev, but I kind of just like getting my... I'm not really playing for army here. Like, you know, like, Green's already got a dev, Blue's got 2 devs. I'm not loving the idea of playing for army. So I just think I'm just going to settle. You know, I'm just going to get my points down, and maybe I can get this 5-4-11 next, or I can, you know, drop another city. And at that point, like, I'm in a really good spot. Green rolls a 7. And discards a bunch of cards. So does everyone. I mean, this 7 is, like, absolutely massive for me. All 3 of these people 7 out. So I'm very ahead at this point. So we get robbed. And then red rolls a 3, which is really good for us. We love the 3. We love the 6. We love the 4. So all of those rolls are really good for us. A 10 rolls. Blue's trying to trade for ore, but no one's biting. On our turn, we roll a 7. And Green has to discard again, and it's painful. I mean, this is painful for Green. I just blocked the 9. It's Blue's source of ore. They're ahead, so that's the best place to block. And with this hand, I just decide to pop once, and we get a knight. And, you know, a knight is fine, like, to protect ourselves. I was kind of looking for something else there, but, you know, a knight is okay. A 6 rolls, so we're getting our 3-1 materials and our ore. We've already got the 2 wheat, so we're close to another city already. Green's trying to trade for ore. And they're talking in the chat. This was a very chat-heavy game. Like, everyone was talking the entire time. On red's turn, they roll a 7. And they 7 out again. So brutal. Blue is talking up our position again because we are doing well. I say, it's not me. Just shameless table talk as usual. Red discards 3 ore and is looking for an ore. Probably trying to city. But we get robbed here. Blue rolls a 9, which is big for them. And they're trying to trade away their woods. They're looking for, the sheeps to be able to pop. And they're offering these wood for sheep trades. And in the end, they just pop. There's lots of talking. Blue, like, they're talking up my position. And I say, guys, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'm ahead. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Blue pops again. We use our knight. It's our, the 6 is good for us. Like, if I roll a 6 here, right, like, that's a city, so I want to unblock it. We get a wood. We roll a 4, so we don't quite have the city. But here, I just decide to pop again, and we get the VP. And at this point, I'm thinking, guys, oh my god, 111, and we're basically there. Road, settle for 9, and city again, and we're in there, guys. Blue's saying, is 11 the block? And it is. So that's the number 2 player. Even though this 11 is really low, you have to recognize the absolute power of this 11 on this board. Like, no one's on this 11. It's the only source of brick, guys. It's huge. And Blue is right to recognize that. But on red's turn, they roll a 7, and they 7 out again, guys. So I think that this is like, maybe the 3rd or time that red 7'd out. So everyone's been 7ing out, and I've just been porting down, using my cards, right? Like, even though I'm not being that efficient, I have a lot of production, and I haven't been 7ing out, so I'm ahead, And that's why ports are really good, and coordinated rolls are good, guys. And, having good resource distribution is good. I say, what are your devs, Blue? Just trying to draw some attention to Blue's position. And Blue gets stolen from. Blue uses their knight. Red says it's the unluckiest game I've played all month. We get robbed by Blue, which makes sense. I think you could have robbed Green here too. Oh no, Green has 0 cards. But yeah, they hit us, and then they roll a 7, and then they hit the 11. So it's just absolutely brutal. We lose 2 cards, and our 11 gets blocked. Blue buys another dev. I say the 11? Question mark, question mark, question mark? No, surely not. Blue says, you're all good, you'll move it. And I say, awkward. And roll the dice. Blue says, whoopsie. But we roll a 3. And, yeah, guys, we are pretty close here. I mean, we can drop a road. We just need a couple ore rolls for the city. I say Lamau. Blue rolls an 8. And then Blue uses the monopoly on the 4 ore, which mostly, just hurts red. And they drop a city, and they buy a dev. I say Lamau, of course, yep. And then, Red's saying GG. Green says, honestly, not that bad. The 4 ore mono. I think that mono was pretty good, guys. Like, it's kind of ensuring that Blue gets army, and they just look how much production they have. Like, they make a ton of cards, and I don't think Green's going to be able to keep up with them. Let's do a little dev check. So at this point, Blue's got 1. They've got army, and they've got 1 VP, and Green's got 1 VP and a road builder. So those are, pretty good devs for them. I'm offering, like, the wood or the wheat for anything, and in the end, I just port down for an ore, looking for my next city. They are asking me for dev info, and I say, oh, and I'm making fun of, raw defensive mono. I say defensive question mark or in quotes. They are asking me what my devs are. I say I have a down dev. Yes. And then they say, what is it? I say anything else you would like to know. So, but we roll some sixes here, and dude, we are absolutely cooking. We roll a 6, and then we roll another 6, and look at our hand, guys. We are cooking. Red's just porting down for a wheat. Blue uses their knight, hits the 11, robs us, seals our ore, but we get it right back with another 8 roll. I say, Daug, my 11. Yeah, and so, Rob is recognizing that there's 0 brick on the board. And they port down for the sheep and buy a dev. And on our turn, we avoid the 7. We drop the city. And, here, I just decide, I could, port down for another ore to try to hold for, another 8 or another 6 or something to city again. But, I'm kind of just thinking, I'm just going to road settle. I'm just going to, no one else has brick. I don't need to really, hold for the city. I'd rather just, start getting close to road. And at this point, I need to somehow manufacture, 2 roads and a settle. And I win. So blue is a good player, right? So they're asking, can we feed road? Can we use sheep port or 3-to-1? Can we, and, these players are good, right? They're talking, they're saying, can we feed each other cities? Blue's trying to feed road. They're recognizing that I'm in a really good spot, and they're working together. And this is what you should be doing, guys, when someone's in a position like mine, with my 2 cities and my ability to just take road and win. And, they know that my dev's not a knight, right? So I've either got a mono or a VP, or, at the best case scenario for them is, I have a road builder or a yop. So on Red's turn, they roll a massive 8, and they get this big trade-off. They got this trade-off, with Green last turn, and they build themselves a city. And, Red's doing well here if they can get road. Blue's still trying to feed, and they buy a dev on their turn. On our turn, we roll a 7. And we've got the next city, guys, and we just literally need 111, and we can win. And I'm stealing from blue here because I'm pretty sure they're getting army, and I don't know what their devs are. So, they could have, a knight, 2 VPs, and a mono, or a knight and, a VP and a yop. And I think they're clearly sort of ahead of red here, even though red's got, more points on board. They're table talking. They're saying they're on 4 points with army. I say blue's about to win. I'm table talking. And green is trying to trade for, to get pops. They're saying I fed you. And green ends up getting this wheat for ore trade-off with red, and they build themselves a city. They're saying they're in last. More sheep rolls on the 5, and red buys a dev. Blue takes army, and blocks and robs us. And then they roll a 9, giving them more ore. They're trying to trade, but no one's really biting because blue's so ahead. Everyone's just saying no immediately. But they pop, and let's check in on how blue's doing here. 3 knights is not great, but honestly, they just need to settle and pop a little bit more, and they're pretty close too. The 9 rolls, and there's not really anything I can do, so I just pass quickly. Another 9 rolls, and green ends up porting down. Red saying we need to port down for brick and get red road. But, no one makes brick on this board, so everyone has to port for the bricks. So it's not really, enticing. But on this turn, red's trying to get 3 woods from blue. And they don't get any trades across, but they end up porting down the wood for the brick. And actually here is red. Like, I think I might have tried to, like, pop a little bit here. So I say red should just dev for the VPs. But really, they're doing the right thing. And they pulled a road building. And, I'm saying to blue, like, you're probably on 8, right? And blue says no. But red takes road here. I say now it's blue. I say I can't win anymore. On blue's turn, they roll a huge 7, and they have to discard, like, a ton of cards here. And that's really good, but we get robbed. And red's a really good player, too. Like, if you look at they're at a 44% win rate. They're number 3 global, So we're playing against the guy who was number 1 global 2 seasons ago and number 3 global this season. So these are really good players. They say I have to play roads. I say yeah, and we get robbed again by blue. But on our turn, we roll a big 8, and I just pass quickly because I'm just trying to, like, I'm thinking at this point, well, I'm probably not going to be able to get road, right? So, but I can just, like, city and drop a settle or city and pop again to try to win, Yeah, so he says rank 2 last season, check again. I say, oh, what happened? You were rank 2, I thought. And he says, Ush Puppy happened. So this is what happens when you guys when we get put in videos, by Ush Puppy, is we just get targeted. I say GG, just talking up, blue's position. Blue says, who has it? And red settles. Blue uses a knight and robs red, which is definitely right. Although it does give us the opportunity to city. And they roll another 8, and we're pretty close here. They port down for the sheep, and blue pops. On our turn, we roll a big 6, but it's blocked, so we don't get our city. But I'm trying to trade the ore or the wood for anything now that I'm not leading anymore. And green offers this wheat for ore, and I just snap it up and drop my city for 9. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, if an 11 rolls, maybe I can take road back. Or more likely just use it to settle. And we don't actually, get robbed here. Green is robbing blue. And green pops 2 devs. Red rolls a 7. Blue is saying, what was that trade? And I think blue is right here. I think green giving me that trade was probably not the best idea, but I kind of see what they're doing. Like, they sort of need to take some risk to have a chance of winning this game, and that's what they say. Like, this risks must be taken. I say, it's not me. And blue says, it is. You're on 9. But we don't get robbed, Like, red's robbing blue, so maybe our table talk works here. And they say I've been telling the truth the entire game. Crazy, what are you guys doing? But, it's hard to believe blue here. Like, they have 4 down devs. Like, it's hard to believe that they only have 1 VP, right? But blue uses a knight, and they move it, and they steal the ore. And that's actually pretty good for us, because we still have the 3-1 with the wood to be able to drop another road. 12 rolls. We get a big 8, and we just do what we thought we were going to do. We port down, and now, like a 4 into anything else is winning. An 11 into a 4 is winning. A 6 into, like, basically, like, any combinations of our 3s, 4s, and 8s or 6s. Like, if we can get 2 of those, we're basically winning here. So that's what I'm looking for. Another 12 gets rolled, and Green uses the Year of Plenty to pop 2 devs, 5 rolls, and Red pops 2 devs too, and I'm like, oh, this is scary. I don't know what Red's got. It's gonna be a close one. We roll an 8. We've got another city, but we can't drop it because we've used all 4. Blue buys another dev. Ports down for a brick, and then they mono our 4 ore, and I'm like, no, man. Ugh, they're probably close to winning. We roll a 7, and who would you guys block here? Is it red or is it blue? I think it's red here. I'm just like scared of what they might have right now. So I think I gotta block red. 4 rolls, and we've got it, guys. We have the settle. So we're chilling. We're booling. So they're talking about who's ahead. 4 VPs in a road builder, question mark, play 1. Red uses their knight. And they rob us. I say it's blue, I think. And we roll a huge 6, and we've got it again despite getting robbed, guys. So I'm thinking, like, there's no way we could lose here, right? Right? Oh my god. City for 9. They say it's black 1000%. I say ha 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 ha. And we 7 out. We roll a 7 on blue's turn, and we have to discard all of our cards. And I'm like, no! Red's gonna win. I tried so hard. And we get robbed. And I'm like, oh, you know, maybe we can roll a 4, 3, or a 6 on this turn. Those are still winning, but red has chances here. Blue uses the 2. And, you know, I'm scared that blue's also on 9 here. On our turn, we roll a 9. Doesn't help us. It's not one of our wood rolls, so we just have to pass quickly. An 8. Ooh. The road building, okay. And green goes for some, like, absolutely crazy trades here. You know, they're, like, showing their full hand. Blue is asking to see their full hand. I'm saying, like, you cannot be trading here. And in the end, they don't actually end up getting any trades off, and they just port down and hold. And on red's turn, they use a knight, and they rob us, and we lose the wheat. And I'm like, oh, but you know, like, an 11 still wins, a 6 still wins, a 3 still wins, so those are all of our rolls, guys. And we roll a 6, and I'm just clenching so hard. I'm literally just, I'm tight. I say GG, because I think that red might have it. But they actually don't have the city here. They are literally like 1 card off. So close. I say this game has been absolutely insane. Just saying, I had a great time, whoever wins. Red drops the road. I'm praying for no 7 here. Green says 7. And they rob us. We still have it. We roll a 5. I'm like, okay, God. No 7. No 7. Blue builds their last settlement. And they're on 9. And on our turn, I say, I do have it. We don't roll a 7. And we get there, guys, breathing a huge sigh of relief. And I say, Sneeb Catan on YouTube. And then we have, like, a long conversation, like, at the end of this game. Where it was just a really good time talking with everyone about, like, how close we all were. And, you know, red's actually got it in hand right now. So if you look at the dice, here's the dice stats. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next clip here.